Welcome back to the Hardwood Rundown podcast. We've got our previews for the season. We're going division by division. We're starting in the Eastern Conference with the Southeast Division. Let's just get into it. Let's not mess around. We've got a
Yeah, I
lot
think
that we
I
want to
think we've
jump
got a
into.
lot to cover today. So we're
Yeah.
gonna kind of rapid fire talk in between. And just I don't have any like crazy picks. I feel like the Southeast division is probably it is the worst it is the worst division record wise, and it is probably not the most entertaining division. So I thought we'd get the worst out first and then save the best for last, which I'm personally quite excited for. Um, so first off, we're going to start with probably the worst team in the division, the Charlotte Hornets. Sorry, we should probably actually give some criteria before
Oh yeah,
we
our
go
four
into it.
thingies.
So we've done four categories for each team. So we've got MVP, impact player, rising star, and kind of their ceiling of wins for the season. We did this 2 years ago. It got a great response. So this is probably the series that I look forward to the most.
Mm,
So let's kick it off. MVP, I think both of us can agree it's probably going to be LaMelo Ball. The dude
mm.
gets he's had a pretty streaky few years with injuries. I feel like if he does get a full season or at least like 60 or 70 games, then I feel like Hornets could kind of generate some buzz around the league. Um,
That was so good. Holy shit.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
Keep it
Thanks. Been
running.
holding that one in. Did you go with LaMelo as well?
Yeah, I did. I don't want to put him because I don't like he's good, but he's just like
Yeah.
he's just like whatever. I don't think he cares that much, but and yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to put Lamelo. Have to put him.
Have to put
Yeah.
LaMelo. Impact player, I went with the second overall pick in the NBA draft, Brendan Miller. I think he gives LaMelo someone that he can rely on. I was kind of I was jumping between him and Terry Rozier, but I just thought Terry Rozier was the impact player last year, and you didn't actually see much difference in the team. I think LaMelo and Brandon Miller are going to be a really good kind of young duo. Give LaMelo a bit of support there, and I do feel like most of the vets on this team will be on their way out halfway through the season or at the start of the season. So I've gone Brandon Miller there.
Mm. I got him PJ Washington. I really like him. I think he's so solid all around, and uh, yeah, I think he's super solid all around. Um, and then yeah, rising star. Who'd you have?
I got the center out of Duke, Mark Williams. I think he had a pretty good rookie season. Not super productive, but I feel like with the starting role this year, you can definitely kind of take that by the horns. I was kind of jumping between him and Nick Smith Jr., who just got drafted as well. But I think Mark Williams starting center, he can be really good for them as well. So I've gone with him.
Yeah, I've gone same. He has. It's not like he has someone coming back from injury to kind of take his place. Like they got a lot of trust. Like they may as well give him the minutes and see what he can do. So
And you
yeah.
also kind of saw once when they got rid of Mason Plumlee at the end, like at the trade deadline last season, you could kind of see that he was actually making an impact. I didn't want to put him as my impact player just because I think there's players around him that can probably make more of an impact for the whole season. But in that short period of time, you could see his production definitely went up. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing a whole year of him. To be honest, though, I won't be watching a lot of Charlotte games. Just not high up on my league pass list, but I do watch the highlights most days. So yeah, maybe. Wins. My ceiling is 32. I think that's generous. I really don't think this team's going to make a whole lot of noise around the league. So
Mm.
I think, yeah, 32. I think there'll be a top five, bottom five team in the league. I just don't like a
There's
team
nothing
if
else
it's.
there.
There's not much there. I
Same.
think 32 is extremely generous. By the
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
I think it is, but I felt like being generous today. So yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I put 31 because I also considered Miles Bridges coming back
True.
and what
Yes. That.
he adds a bit of a swing man to LaMelo. Bit
Yeah,
of
and you kind of saw
excitement.
that it. You kind of saw that it worked when they were playing together.
Mm.
but he's also missing like the first 10 or 15 games or something of the year. So
Yeah.
that kind of puts him in the back seat of impact player. If he comes back and he is the impact player, then I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But just the fact that he's not playing the whole season is probably factored into why I didn't pick him.
Mm. But yeah,
All
hey,
right.
Hornets, not much on them, eh?
No, there's not. We got the most boring one out of the way first.
Orlando
Next up,
Magic.
we've got the Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this year for them. I actually feel like they've got some really good pieces. Last year, they actually weren't terrible. They
Mm.
had a good kind of middle of the season, and then kind of like fell off on both sides. Um, yeah, MVP Paolo Banchero. I think that's easy for me. I don't know if you've got someone different. I feel like you've got someone
Um,
different.
I do, yeah, because I'm not sure what they prioritize because they have two like similar wings in Wagner and
Yeah,
oh shit and Benchero. Um, I put Wagner because
yeah,
I think his game is like is much more diverse. Like I think he runs the break more. I think he's got like quicker release and a bit more athletic. Although like I can't take it away from Parlo anyway. But yeah, I put Wagner, but I have Parlo somewhere else in my
yeah,
list as
yeah.
well.
I feel like you saw flashes of Paolo's greatness last year. I
Mm,
think he'll have a really good season this year. Franz Wagner, Franz Wagner is my impact player though.
mm,
I feel like his offensive ability is probably one of the best on that team. You definitely see him kind of make such an impact last season, and he's definitely progressing. I originally had him as my rising star, but I feel like he's been in the league for a few years, so I left that one out. But my impact player for overall team success is Aussie boy Joe Ingles. I feel like
hey.
I feel like you just need that veteran presence.
Mm,
And I feel like he mentored the young guys really well because he's doing the same thing with the boomers. He's been doing that for a few years, so I feel like that veteran presence is going to be really valuable for them.
mm.
Um, yeah, and he's got that nice slick ISO game and pick and roll game.
Yeah, he's so like you don't expect him to do much. He's very
No,
unassuming, but no, he's so solid. I was surprised when they got him. But I was like, that's a very good signing. You Terrence Ross wasn't playing much last year, or if anything at all,
mm,
until he got dropped. You actually have a perfect opportunity to sign someone who and a playmaker as well. He's a really solid playmaker. Um,
100%. Yeah.
but yeah, I got Cole Anthony as my impact player. I think just like
Oh,
locker presence and his energy, how I think they kind of forgot like because what pick was he a couple of years ago? He was a high
oh,
pick.
yeah. I thought
He
it
was
was a
top
lottery pick, maybe.
he definitely was top 10. And I feel like he hasn't I feel like they haven't prioritized him, but at the same time you've got another high pick in Fultz and um Paolo as well. And like yeah, there's a lot to consider with that playing group. And but he's embraced that bench role really well. I think he's an impact player for me. I think he can come on and keep a level head and be a spark plug. So yeah, impact player for me is Cole Anthony. I got Barlow as my rising star. I think he'll still take a bit to kind of get used, especially that playing at the four.
Mm.
Um, obviously have to adapt to that. But I think he'll be like he's already an absolute killer. He's already got that face-up game, already super athletic. So yeah, I put him as my rising star because I think Franz Wagner is a bit more
He's
established. Like I know it
yeah,
doesn't look good, but
bit more polished. I'd
yeah,
say,
yeah, yeah.
but I think already like coming out of college, like Paolo was already one of the best face-up fours in the game.
Mm,
I feel like having that one season under his belt, it's only going to get better. He's starting to develop his 3-point shot a bit more.
mm,
Um, yeah, he's really good slasher as well. So yeah, I can kind of see both sides. I just think, I'm also kind of thinking like halfway through the season when Paolo gets more games under his belt, he probably will be the MVP of that team.
mm,
Um, Rising star went 6'7" guard Anthony Black, the rookie. I feel
mm,
like he's a really good playmaker, two-way, defensive minded. I feel like he could easily average like 8 assists a game. I'm not
mm.
sure if he'll start though. That's the only thing that I'm concerned about because they've obviously got Jalen Suggs there. They missed out on the Suggs Dick connection. Um,
They got
Jalen Suggs, Markel Fultz, Cole Anthony. You've got
Gary
all these
Harris.
guards and Gary Harris as
They
well.
have so many
The
fucking
GOAT.
guards. The goat,
Um,
Gary Harris.
but no, Anthony Black really keen to see him play.
Mm.
And yeah, I think he'll really flourish in kind of that system. I always forget it also about Wendell Carter Jr. That lob game, that
Yeah.
lob kind of connection, that pick and roll game will be really good as well. So,
Mm.
like I said, really looking forward to seeing the Magic this year. I honestly reckon I'll watch them a bit more than I have, or watch them more than any other team I'll probably watch. Um, so yeah, I'm really excited for them.
Yeah,
Next
definitely.
up, next up, the depleted but also exciting Washington Wizards. Obviously, no Brad Beal, no Porzingis. They kind of blew it up. I thought Kuz was going to leave. He's back. My MVP. I'm kind of changing my mind halfway through here. Actually, no, I'm going to stick with it. I had Jordan Poole as my MVP. I think getting out of Golden State, you can see those media day pictures. Oh my god, he looks like he's about to have the villain arc of all time. I honestly reckon this dude can average 25 on any night, and I'm not exaggerating. I think you saw glimpses of it, and he just kind of bummed out come playoff time.
Mm.
But even when Steph wasn't playing, he was scoring 30 a night. Even when he was filling Clay's void, not last year, the year before, he was scoring the ball really efficiently, and getting those numbers up. I really feel like he's the MVP of this team, most
Mm.
improved favorite. Um, and yeah, kind of like really excited to see how he plays.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit worried how he's going to do with the ball in his hands that much
Yeah,
because
I
he
mean
is going to
that's
have
a
it
concern as well.
a lot. But yeah, I can see it. I can see it working out. I put Kuz as my MVP.
Yeah,
I think like you get traded to a not so great team and you have a good season last year, but like if you really are about that and he puts himself up there as one of the better forwards in the league, well, that's what he thinks, I guess. This is an opportunity to really show something more than just like what 20 points a game. Like I need to see a bit more, and I want to see a bit more from him. I think his dynamic ability, you know, as the three to a four as well is really solid.
yeah,
And I was gonna put Jordan Poole, but I just don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know. And I think Tyus Jones is really perfect next to him. He gives him a bit of room to
100%.
breathe, and but he can put it in his put in his hands and get to go to work. But yeah, I put Kuz, but then for my impact player, I put Tyus Jones because I think he's
Yeah,
a
nice.
really, if you're going to get anything in that trade, like very, very solid,
Yeah,
very, very solid
100%.
starting point guard, Tyus Jones.
One of the most underrated, not only guards or point guards, but like players in the league. You
Mm,
saw glimpses of his greatness when Jar was obviously out for that extended period of time.
yeah.
He can lead a 5-man team. He can do it all. Sound defensively, low turnover. Uh, you know how much I love the assist to turnover ratio on Tyus Jones. That man does not turn the ball over. I think it's like 5 assists to 1 turnover, maybe even more. So yeah, I'm really excited to. It'll kind of be good because you'll have that. I feel like Jordan Poole is going to be turnover prone throughout the season, but kind of having that balance at point guard where Tyus Jones doesn't really turn the ball over much, is going to kind of be beneficial for him and kind of silence out that number. Um, but impact player, I've kind of gone Kuzma and Tyus Jones. I couldn't actually pick one. I think Kuz is going to have a big year. I think Tyus Jones is going to have a big year stepping into the starting role. Really excited for that kind of trio, because they all kind of play it very differently. Kuz doesn't really need the ball in his hands. Poole needs the ball in his hands. Um, and Tyus Jones can honestly just float around. He can play off ball. He can play on ball. I
Mm,
think he's that really nice combo guard. So yeah, I'm really excited to see that trio. Rising star, Danny Avdia. I think he had a huge leap last year, considering that he wasn't getting a whole lot of playing time. You
mm.
can definitely see glimpses of it. I think he'll probably be starting this coming season, or him or Corey Kispert. But I think Danny Avdia, if he gets the starting role, man, because he could easily average like 14, 6, and 6. He could
Mm,
give you those numbers on any night. I think having that well balanced game. He's
mm.
European. He's 6'10". He's a 3-man. Like he can really do it all, and I'm really excited to kind of see that as well.
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't have like a big season last year.
Mm,
But I guess I'd just give him the ball a bit more, like give him room to breathe a bit. He's same as me for Rising Star. I was gonna put Poole, but like I guess he's already a star in a way.
yeah,
But like if he is gonna solidify himself, this will be the year. But yeah, I put Danny as my Rising Star. And I they had what 28 wins last year. Actually,
yeah.
no. They had
No, they had
hold up.
32, didn't they?
They had 35 last year.
35. Yeah,
But
I'm definitely going under.
I've put 30. Um, I see them as being really competitive with a lot of teams, like losing a
Mm.
lot of close ones, but I don't see many wins going under, even less than 30, to be honest. I don't
Yeah, I've
trust
gone absolute
people.
ceiling 30, 34. I've gone absolute ceiling. But
Yeah.
we also forgot to say the Magic. I went 38 and under. I think honestly they could actually win 38 games,
Mm,
and kind of be that like 9-10 playing team because that's enough to make the playoffs these days.
mm,
Um, so yeah, I could definitely see them as like a fringe playing team. But yeah,
yeah. I had 35 because and I
yeah,
really love if any team I keep rebuilding on 2K or doing little things, it's the Magic because I love how like diverse that team is. Like it's a lot of
yeah,
guards, but it's a really fun team to play with.
yeah,
And I
100%.
think a huge season's coming for them. When I saw them at Philly in Philly, um yeah, they were great. They're so competitive. They got a great
Mm,
bench and like I guess the energy that they have surrounding them and a lot of confidence. Like but they're not too full of themselves to where it becomes a locker presence, like locker room issue. But like it's
yeah,
great. Everyone's just getting around it. So now you said 38. I could honestly see them getting 40, like 40 wins, like
yeah. Like between
or even
35 and
more.
40, I feel like is very realistic.
Mm.
But it'll be weird, like kind of seeing that big of a jump.
Yeah, it's a
So
lot
I'm
more
kind of
fun.
setting the expectations high.
Yeah.
Sorry to diverge there.
No, that's
Next
fine.
up we got the Atlanta Hawks. They lost John Collins in the offseason. I feel like I've gone big on the wins, but I'm being very optimistic on Trae Young having an MVP caliber season. Um, yeah, I've gone Trae Young as my MVP. He's probably he actually is probably one of my picks for MVP next year, which is really weird. I never thought that would come out of
Mm.
my mouth. Um, but yeah, I've gone Trae Young MVP. I'm assuming you kind of have as well.
Yeah, I got Trey. I wouldn't put him as my like as like getting a spot for MVP like
I know
next
it's
year.
bold. It's very bold.
Yeah, I mean if he's like I reckon if he's like a fifth seed, I feel like it's definitely a conversation to be had.
Mm,
Uh but yeah, they're a bit of a mid. They got shut on a bit last year because they were a bit of a mid team. Like
they
everything
were the
was mid.
definition of mid. Definition of mid.
Um, but I really like them getting Sadiq Bey. Um,
Yeah, same.
yeah, I got him for my impact player. I think he's like a really solid addition to the team. A wing that I think makes sense next to Trey, who can shoot, who can do it
Yeah,
himself, bit of a dog, and
yeah. You
yeah,
could
he
kind
can
of see
shoot
the
threes.
glimpses of him being really good in the playoffs as well last year.
Mm, mm. Did you have?
I got DeAndre Hunter. I feel like a bigger role now that John Collins isn't there.
Mm,
He averaged like 14 a game last season. I feel like that could easily jump. Um,
mm,
Efficiency might be an issue just because he would be taking a bit more of an offensive load. Um, but yeah, I'm really keen to see him play Rising Star. I was I was choosing between AJ Griffin and Jalen Johnson. I've gone with Jalen Johnson. I feel like much bigger role. You saw glimpses of how good he is when he got game time. I feel like he'll get a lot more game time. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts
mm,
um, halfway through the season. But yeah, I definitely think he would be taking on a bigger role, more production. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how he goes during the season.
mm. I got Jojo Hunter. I think he's
Yeah.
slowly coming into his role. Like I expected a quicker adjustment for him to the NBA, but like
Mm.
he's getting there, and I think getting up to 14 last year, it's like if a player's averaging like 10 and they're starting, I feel like that should be expected, right? But like
Yeah.
a bit more is gives you a bit of confidence in him, and yeah, I'd say I'm going to give him Rising Star because with Jalen Johnson. you wonder whether he would get the starting spot or whether he'll get like inconsistent minutes off the bench. Like he'll still get the
Yeah.
minutes, obviously, but yeah, I'll go DeAndre Hunter for my
All right. Nice.
rising star.
I've gone 48. Okay, it sounds crazy. I went 48 absolute max. If they have the most perfect season ever, they're going to get 48 wins. And then probably lose in the first round.
Can't forget a couple of years ago they were in
Yeah,
Eastern Conference Finals. Cannot
100%.
forget that.
Well, because Ben Simmons didn't go for the dunk.
Oh, fucking Ben. Oh god. We're not even talking about the Nets, and
I know. It always gets dragged in.
Oh, for fuck's sake. 43. I'm gonna give them. I think it's gonna be a solid season for them, but I don't know. They're just hard. They're hard to know. Like nothing's really nothing that they've done this off season has really pointed me in any direction. Even with John Collins, like that trade, like I don't know. But I go 43.
Yeah, nice.
Let's go the Heat, baby.
Yeah, it's been good so far. Last but not least, the Miami Heat. I don't know. I feel like these ones are this one's a bit, I don't know. I'm a bit worried about the Heat coming up this season. You've lost all of those players. You've lost obviously Oladipo, Strus, and Gabe Vincent. I feel like these players really made an impact to your like playoff run. Not Oladipo because he got injured, but I feel like those two in particular. I know they disappeared in the finals, but they definitely helped get you to where you got. So kind of losing those strips back a bit. But I still expect MVP Jimmy Butler to have a monster season. I feel I couldn't pick Bam. I feel like Bam's too inconsistent. Tyler Hero, I couldn't pick him. So yeah, Jimmy Butler MVP. I just hope he doesn't have to carry as much because we saw in the finals and even the Celtics series that if he doesn't have a big night, the Heat aren't going to play as good. So I really hope they can add a few pieces. I don't know, via trade. Can they get Dame Lillard? That thing's been going on forever. So yeah, I'm wondering how it'll work, but I mean, what can you do? Just stick with what you got. They'll probably get some undrafted players again or something.
Yeah, and they'll pull something out of nothing.
100%.
Yeah, I think after this last year, I feel like it's like this season for the Heat or like their window's closed. But now with the potential Dame trade, like I had them a bit low of a record, but like with a Dame trade, I was like, oh shit, like this could really that's the player they need instead of Jimmy putting everything on his back. Naturally, he just wants to be the point forward. Fine. You can be the point forward. You grab Dame. I don't know who you give up. Hopefully you get someone in free aid or get something like, through summer league or sign someone who can, kind of provide what like a Max Strus was giving or Gabe Vincent. I put MVP Jimmy. I put impact player. I put Haywood Highsmith. I fucking love how he played in the whole playoffs. I know.
Haywood Highsmith? What? Oh my god! What?
Crazy. Bold predictions.
That is actually what.
I fucking love this.
Yeah, I mean, he was really good in the finals.
I think he's so solid.
Cedric Highsmith, Duke University.
If you're watching the games, like he's so solid defensively, heaps of hustle, prove 3-point shot. Like I hopefully he gets more minutes like consistently. I don't know if he will play much.
I can't stop.
Haywood
Highsmith, whoa! Cue the Bill Simmons, whoa. Oh my god.
If he gets minutes, 100%, he's a fucking impact player. He's like a PJ Tucker, I think.
Yeah.
If he gets minutes.
We can come back to this at the end of the season and see how we go with our prediction. Impact player, I've gone Tyler Hero. I think they missed his scoring in the finals. But impact player also went Jimmy Butler. I feel like if he has a shit game, they play like shit. Rising star, I've gone Jaime Jaquez Jr. out of UCLA. He was really good in the summer league, really good in college. I think he spent 3 years there, so he's definitely got that. He's also definitely got that like grit, that Miami kind of culture about him. So I think he'll be a good fit. He'll probably actually get minutes as well. His post up game is really good. He can shoot the three. He's pretty athletic. But yeah, I'm actually really because I used to watch him in I watched him in his like first year. Didn't watch much of his second year, and then watched his third year. Could definitely see the progression. Um, so yeah, I'm really keen to see how he goes in Miami.
I had I actually had Tyler Hero because still think he's got more to develop. Um,
Yeah, true,
I think
true,
he's
true.
got more maturity to develop, and but like when he's confident and he's out there and he's in his bag, like he's a fucking killer.
Mm,
I still think he's got a higher ceiling to achieve if he can just get out there consistently after what happened last season. Um, but hey, we know with my predictions, we never know, baby.
that's
He might get
true.
traded, bro.
That's
If he
true.
gets traded,
Uh,
he'll be my rising star for the Blazers, or he'll be my MVP for the Blazers.
yeah, hey, he might get traded by the time we record that episode, so
Yeah, I don't
be a
know.
bit of a weird crossover.
Yeah.
Winning record. I've gone so this is weird without Dame.
Mm,
So if they don't manage to get Dame, I'm giving them 44. That's their max. That's the ceiling because they didn't perform last season either. So
mm,
I feel like they're definitely not a regular season team. They're a playoff team. Um, and with Dame, I've gone 50 as their max. I feel like you'll easily +6 wins with one of the best scorers in the league.
mm,
When you definitely needed scoring throughout not only the regular season but the playoffs as well.
mm.
Yeah, that's kind of my ceiling for both scenarios.
I'm a bit more optimistic. I got 46 without Dame. I got 52 with them.
Okay.
I'm a two
Yeah. Okay.
difference. I got two. I'm
Yeah.
doing two more wins.
Nice, buddy.
I. It's nice to see you trying some predictions.
Yeah.
I see. I hate how Jimmy just does not care during the regular season. It's actually really funny, but
Yeah. I know it's ridiculous.
I see them understanding that teams around them, and particularly in their division and in their conference, are getting more competitive um, and more hungry. Especially the Pacers have
Hmm.
got better in the off season. I think. Like
Yeah.
I see
Definitely.
them realizing, okay, like we can't cruise through any of these games. We can't. We have to get these wins because this will translate into the playoffs. Like we can't cruise along. I hopefully think that they will realize that, but yeah, give them like a fourth or fifth seed, and they're like that 52 with Dame.
Okay.
If they get, or like 46 without Dame, but 52 with him. But yeah,
Okay. Let's go then. Let's go.
take me there.
Yeah. Wow. That we kind of like went through that pretty quickly. I feel like it was going to take a while, but kind of expect these kind of half an hour, 35-minute season previews. Last time we did it, we were doing two teams per episode and 45-minute episodes pretty much. So
Yeah.
definitely a lot smaller and digestible content. But yeah, we've got 5 more divisions to go. Super keen. I think we'll end on the Pacific Division because that's probably the
It's huge.
most exciting one. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Love the support as always. Appreciate it all. But yeah, let us know. Let us know who your top pick in the best player in the Southeast Division. I don't know. Comment something. Let us know your
Give us your
thoughts.
predictions for. Actually, I want to hear people's predictions for the Magic.
Yeah,
Let us
give us
know
your
about the
predictions
Magic.
for the Magic this season. Yeah, give us your MVP, Impact Player, Rising Star, and their
Mm.
ceiling for wins. Thanks everyone for watching. Yeah, I'll go fuck myself.